mayor's town, not mine. It's I help represent it, but it's his town.
I expect we're live right now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, and to all the citizens, you've been just super. You've really demonstrated that we are a city of compassion, and the medal that you've shown certainly defines what Toledo's all about. The governor and I have met this afternoon, and the next step that we have is we're pending results from the United States EPA in Cincinnati. We delivered to them the samples that they requested yesterday. They were delivered by plane, and my understanding is they're in the process of doing their qualitative and quantitative analysis. We really at this time cannot make a decision as to what those results will be because we don't have them. We cannot go forward and say we will do this or this because we need the empirical evidence, and that is where those tests show us, because they'll give us a path. So at this moment in time, I'd like the governor to say a few words because he's been a true partner in this whole step. Last night at 11 o'clock, this governor was on the phone. Yesterday morning at 7:30, this governor was on the phone, and throughout that entire day, this governor was on the phone. I think that truly defines the relationship.
Well, look, I mean, it's been a terrific partnership, and frankly, the ability to have a great mayor who's been so calming and provide such great leadership is a big deal. And the mayor is right. The people here in this whole region have been fantastic. I mean, the volunteering that's going on, the movement of material, getting it dispensed, it's been fantastic. We have seen some improvement in the numbers, and the mayor is right. We need to have more confirmation of more data, and once we get that, we'll be in a better position to make a decision. And you know, sometimes people would like to move quickly, but the way I look at it and the way the mayor and I have discussed it, I want to make sure that I would be comfortable with my family, my daughters, my wife drinking the water. And when I'm comfortable with that, then I think we're in a position of where we can say to the people here in Toledo that we feel good about it and we can move forward. So we're looking forward to these numbers. Hopefully they'll be good, but the mayor is doing the best job that he can possibly do. Our entire administration is engaged in this, from the National Guard to the Highway Patrol to the EPA to the Department of Natural Resources. I mean, the list goes on and on. We've been fully integrated, and we're going to work through this and make sure at the end of the day the people of this community and the people surrounding area will be safe. That's the most important thing for us, and if it takes a little extra time, so be it. We're going to move as much as we can in here to make sure that people can be as comfortable as they are, and everybody just stay cool, stay calm, and we'll get through this. We'll learn from this, and we'll bring improvements. Working with the mayor and the community here, we will work together to bring improvements to everything that we are seeing here, whether it's the lake, the system. We've got to all work together with our federal partners, local, everybody. We just plug together.
Governor, which numbers specifically are you talking about? We're getting reports that some of the numbers are in already outside of Toledo.
Look, there's a whole series of tests, and there is no exact science as to what, you know, there are different tests and different protocols. The scientists have been together discussing all the different ranges of things. We just want to get to a point where we're comfortable, perhaps with an approach where you open things you know, on a part basis instead of opening it all. Maybe you open it. It's going to be the mayor and I are going to talk, and he'll talk with his officials. We'll talk with EPA. I would not, you know, I think when people say this number, that number, there's always numbers flying around. When we're comfortable is when we'll make a decision to move forward.
Are there any numbers?
Are
there any numbers?
The numbers that we're talking about that you're referring to are not in. Those numbers will be available, we're thinking, after 3 p.m. today. But the numbers that we're waiting for now in order to make a final evaluation as to what our next step will be, those numbers aren't in. So we have no foundation whatsoever to go forward. We're going to receive those numbers. They indicated they would have them done at 3 o'clock. But frankly, this is a science, and it's not a train on time. The numbers will be available when the scientists tell us they are, and so we're hopeful that we have them sometime before 4. But they did say 3, but I think that we have to be realistic. It could be 4 or possibly even 5.
At some point this issue is going to end, but the problem will remain. We'll have the water treatment plants, we'll have the algae blooms. At some point we have to think about addressing that issue. What can the state do to help the city of Toledo?
Well, I think that's right. I mean, we have a very old system here. It's about 70 years old that the mayor inherited. The mayor didn't build it. The mayor wasn't even alive when it was built. So the question gets to be, what do we do to improve that system? I mean, do you have a replacement? Do you have steps that you can take? That's a decision that I know the mayor has thought about way before this has even happened. The mayor has looked into this, and we're willing to help at the state level. What we can do, we're going to talk to our federal partners about some dollars from them. We've got to wait till the mayor gets all his studies completed in terms of what is the best thing for us to do. In terms of the lake itself, you know, we've got aggressive programs now to get farmers to stop putting the phosphorus on their land, which causes the runoff, which causes the algae. We've had success in that. As you know, we just had an announcement not long ago about taking some of the dredge material out of the Maumee, putting it on land rather than back into the lake. All these things should work, but this is a problem. This is a problem that really has intensified. Last year we're doing better, but it is a challenge not only for Lake Erie, it's a challenge for our country. And so we're going to have to think about this you know, at the national level, and not just here. And things we learn here can help solve the problems that people see around the country. The algae bloom problem is not just one that's located here. This is a problem that we see really worldwide. So,
well, what does it mean to you that that the algae season for 2014 has really only started, and that the Toledo water plant's already inundated?
Well, I mean, the bottom line on that is that we have our operators, they have their operators, and we have our best people working with their best people to make sure that we're going to be in a good place. And we also look at any other science that we have, anything we've learned from the operation in Grand Lake St. Mary's to treat algae, and we'll stay on top of it. I think if you talk to the charter boat captains, they say that the lake is healthier. It's in better shape, but we have to stay on top of this, and we have to have our best engineers working with their best engineers to handle this.
Governor, you know, it takes so long to get things taken care of, but we've seen such an early hemorrhage to this whole situation. How fast do you think we could see some money come to help us at least upgrade our infrastructure here?
Well, look, you know, I'm not a guy who likes to sit around. I like to get things decided and get moving forward. Now, you know, first of all, the mayor's got to look, and he's doing it. I mean, he was on this before anybody heard about this algae bloom, or that he's been looking at this, trying to assess the system that he inherited. When he finishes that assessment, then we're going to be in a better place. Because the one thing you don't want to do is just throw money at a problem and it isn't going to fix something. And what is the best way to get this system fixed? Look, folks, you know, I'm the governor, okay, but I'm the dad of two 14-year-old girls and my wife, and we love the lake. And I got to tell you, I love to come up here to Toledo. I mean, we're seeing a lot of improvement up here. We're all in this together. This is not like, well, you know, he's the governor and then there's us. We're together. We're neighbors. We're family. I tell people, when things are not going well in Toledo, it hurts in Columbus. And when things are not going well at Grand Lake, it hurts up here. I mean, we're all one community and one family, and we will do everything we can. And the one thing people can't doubt is that we make decisions and we try to solve problems.
Governor, where are you going now? What are the next steps right now?
Well, the mayor and I are going to go thank some volunteers. I'm going to hop back on a plane, head back to emergency management, and we'll all be plugging together. We've been on phone calls for, I don't know, 2.5, I don't even know how many phone calls. And my wife keeps walking into rooms where I am and says, "Toledo, huh?" I said, "Absolutely, sweetie." She said, "Take care of it." That was what she said to me. So we've been plugging together. There have been separate meetings that the mayor and I have not been in with the scientists, the experts. The one thing people here need to know is everybody is on this. There's nobody asleep at the wheel, and we are not going to get off of this until this whole thing gets solved, no matter how long that it takes. And we'll get there
What more can you do as a state official?
Well, I mean, we've got to keep all this runoff from getting into the lake, number one, and we've started that. Number two, the dredging material helps us. Randy Gardner's been terrific in terms of watching for the lake, and you might all remember the water bill that I vetoed because I didn't think it was a good bill. I believe that the Maumee, I believe this whole area here can lend itself to a tremendous economic boom. At the same time, I think we need to look at the scientific research that we have to figure out if there's more things we can do about algae. And I think we have to also take a look at what we can do to help the mayor here when it comes to the issue of upgrades, of how can we take a 70-year-old plant and what can we do to help it, and how can we be more effective in terms of being fully coordinated with folks up here.
You're going to call FEMA?
Oh, FEMA's
Yeah,
already involved.
Bill, let me weigh in on that.
Sure.
But yes, what can the governor do?
And FEMA.
Well, let's get to FEMA next. But
Okay.
first off, let's talk about where we're at today before we venture out into FEMA. Imagine where we would be today if we didn't have the full force of the governor and his resources. How would we have gotten if the federal EPA said, we want these samples, this is in the protocol? How, the city of Toledo doesn't own a plane. How would we have gotten that transported from our Collins Park wastewater treatment plant all the way down to Cincinnati? The governor puts a plane in the ground, says you stay there till you get those samples and you get up in the air and you get that stuff down there. How did it get up to Lake Superior State College or University? The governor said, put that helicopter down over to St. V's and you stay there until that sample gets there and then you're up in the air and you're out there. I mean, how many days did we save in terms of beginning to get numbers? So when you ask me about numbers, these numbers are only available because of the resources the governor provided.
Governor,
FEMA.
I'll answer.
Okay.
I'm also glad at the amount of material that got moved here, and that's our private sector friends as well. Walmart has done a good job. They're sending a bunch of tractor trailers. You know, we've used the Highway Patrol and the National Guard. We get the Ohio National Guard transporting things. So it's been amazing how much has been moved here. And if we need to move more, we're going to move more here. In terms of FEMA, we've had FEMA people in Ohio, and they're looking at the situation. The question gets to be, do we meet certain standards in order to qualify for FEMA funding? Is there SBA funding that can come? Those are all things that you work through. And as I told our folks, I want all the paperwork prepared. I don't want anybody to tell me, well, you know, we don't have the paper done. I want all the paper done so we can send it based on, you know, what the rules are of FEMA. So they're fully engaged, they're on the ground, they're here in Ohio, and they're fully aware of all this. Okay.
Governor, you mentioned the National Guard, the Ohio Highway Patrol. Yeah. Mayor Collins has talked about the employees that were brought in this weekend. What has this taught you about the hidden costs of pollution, and how is it going to reshape your thinking for the administration going forward when it comes to environmental protection?
Well, first of all, my thinking isn't reshaped because I consider myself to be an environmentalist from this standpoint. The Lord gave us this beautiful lake. He gave us this beautiful earth. Our job's not to worship it, but our job is to take care of it. And so it just means more and more that we have to figure out better ways to use our good brains to make sure that we can conserve these natural resources. And you know, I've said from the beginning, this lake is a jewel. And we've done a lot to improve it. And if you talk to the charter boat captains, they'll tell you it has been improved, but we have more work to do. Thank you all.